The first question is, what is your diagnosis? इसका जवाब होगा, my diagnosis is congenital telepath equinovirus. Bilateral या लेफ्ट या राइट, जो भी कहोगे. The second question is, why do you say so? तो पहली इसका जवाब होगा प्रेजेंट सिंस बर्थ. ठीक है. दूसरा ये कि बायलैटरलिटी फेवर्स congenital telepathic equinovirus. Third is passively not correctable. चौथा है नो अदर कॉज. और इसमें से 4 पॉइंट में से सबसे पहले देयर इज इक्वाइनस एट एंकल, inversion at hind foot and forefoot adduction. ठीक है. तो एटीट्यूड जो है या पोजीशन जो है जॉइंट की वो डिस्क्राइब करो. दैट इज द फर्स्ट थिंग. ठीक है. क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, क्वेश्चन नंबर दिस. तो नेचुरली दिस लीड्स टू द अदर. व्हाट आर द अदर कॉजेस? Other causes में you make a diagram like this, and this is the fibula, and this is the talus, and this is the inversion. So either the cause can be a powerful inverter or a weak everter. यही दो cause हो सकते हैं. So this means spastic cerebral palsy, or when muscle is replaced by fibrous tissue, which you call myodystrophia, wrong development fetalis in the fetus. It is also called as arthrogryposis multiplex congenita. Okay. The second is weak everters. Now, if you want to say weak everters, you say that there is a muscle here. Okay. That muscle has has a nerve supply. The nerve supply is going up to the spinal cord, and then there is the upper motor neuron. So the problem can be in the upper motor neuron, can be in the upper motor neuron, or can be in the lower motor neuron, or can be in the muscle, or can be in the myoneural junction. Okay. In the upper motor neuron there are 3 things: cerebral palsy, Friedreich's ataxia, and syringomyelia. Lower motor neuron, the problem can be in the anterior horn cell, polio and motor neuron disease, can be in the nerve root, prolapsed intervertebral disc, can be in the nerve, injury to LPN or Hansen's, can be in the myoneural junction, which is myasthenia gravis, can be in the muscle, which is muscular dystrophy. ठीक है. So these are the problems. That is the differential diagnosis of Talipes equinovirus. Now, supposing you say any of these, you must rule it out. Cerebral palsy leads to spasm. That means it is passively correctable. If you applied sustained pressure, the deformity will correct. Friedreich's ataxia presents in adulthood, and ataxia is a very important feature of Friedreich's ataxia. Posterior column loss, alright, position loss. Syringomyelia is associated with dissociate anesthesia, alright. That means pain and temperature are lost, whereas touch and pressure are intact. Then anterior horn cell is characterized by fasciculations. In motor neuron disease, there are fasciculations, and it is insidious onset, pure motor. Polio is acute, flaccid, and it's also pure motor. So anterior horn cell, myoneural junction and muscle are pure motor. Nerve root and nerve are motor plus sensory. Okay? And of course, so these are the important differential diagnoses of Talipes equinovirus. So any DD, other causes, and fourth, why not that? Then you come to how would you investigate? So in the investigation, the two important things are a podogram, okay, and Pirani score, and certain X-rays. They are done to assess the present position, present deformity of the foot, okay, and so that you can document the correction. Then how would you treat? As soon as the child is born, you manipulate and strap. So the first thing is manipulate and strap. The second thing is that as soon as the skin is able to take it, you apply corrective casts fortnightly, and the method that you use now is Ponseti. The previous method was kites. The difference between kites and Ponseti is that in Ponseti the fulcrum is head of talus, whereas in kites the thumb was on the cubert. And actually cubert is moving. So Ponseti said that's a kite's mistake, and he corrected it and put the thumb on the talus. The second important thing about Ponseti is that you first correct supination. You first correct cavus and inversion, so that the spring ligament comes under the head of the talus. And now when you correct, there will be no vertical talus. Otherwise, forefoot equinus में चला जाएगा, hind foot, forefoot dorsiflexion में चला जाएगा, hind foot will stay in equinus, and there is a chance of vertical talus. So you correct adduction and inversion to bring the spring ligament under the head of talus and prevent vertical talus. And the third thing is that in Ponseti method, you usually correct equinus by tenotomy, because the talus is soft. If you apply too much of pressure, the convexity of the talus will be lost, and that leads to a tabletop talus. So Ponseti method has revolutionized the treatment of congenital Talipes equinovirus. And after Ponseti, you apply corrective splint. All right. It was called as Dennis Brown splint. Till the child starts walking. And then you apply reverse shoes or corrective shoes when the child is walking till maturity. And you maintain a strict follow-up, 6-monthly follow-up. What are the indications of surgery? The indications of surgery are recurrence, rigid, or relapse. What is the choice of surgery? Up to 4 years, less than 2 years. Soft tissue release, which is called as modified Brockman's operation. For equinus, you release Z-plasty of tendo Achilles, resection of plantaris, posterior capsulotomy, plus minus division of talofibular ligament. For inversion, after skin and subcutaneous tissue, flexor retinaculum divided near the medial malleolus to save the posterior calcaneal nerves, tibialis posterior resected, transferred, or released, flexor hallucis and flexor digitorum longus lengthened plus minus, nerve and artery saved, superficial part of deltoid ligament divided, deep part saved, medial part of interosseous talocalcaneal ligament divided. If there is a bony deformity of the calcaneum, do a medial open wedge calcaneal osteotomy. And that is usually up to 4 years of age, and it is called as Dwyer's medial open wedge calcaneal osteotomy or MOCO. Then at 8 to 10 years, you do Evans calcaneo-cuboid fusion. After 12 years, Lambert-Naudis triple arthrodesis. So this is how you would be questioned about congenital Talipes equinovarus, and these are the answers. Congenital Talipes equinovarus. Talipes means pertaining to foot. Equinus. Is a deformity this is the tibia, this is the talus, here is the navicular, here is the calcaneus, here is the cuneiform, here is the metatarsal. So a deformity which is plantar flexion of the foot is called as equinus. That means walking on toes. And this deformity is produced because there is contracture of tibialis anterior, tibialis, this gastrocnemius. There is contracture of the plantaris, and there is contracture of the posterior capsule. Posterior capsule has a tibio-calcaneal component and a tibio-talar component. Then what happens that this broader part of the talus is outside the ankle mortise. And if you see this broader part of talus, Basically, this talus is something like this. So this is the broader part of talus. Since it is outside the ankle mortise, this is the ankle mortise. So this ankle mortise becomes narrower. So if this broader part of talus is outside the ankle mortise for a very long period of time, it will not allow dorsiflexion. So even after you have done a Z-plasty of the tendoachilles, you have resected the plantaris, and you have done a posterior capsulotomy, this broader part of talus will not go into the ankle mortise. Therefore, what you have to do, you have to divide this ligament, which is the tibiofibular ligament, so that the ankle mortise can widen and the broader portion of talus can go back into the ankle mortise. Therefore, to correct equinus, you have to do a tenotomy or lengthening Z-plasty of the tendoachilles. You have to resect the plantaris. You have to do a posterior capsulotomy, and you may have to divide the tibiofibular ligament before you can correct equinus. Okay? The incision on the tendoachilles is usually applied on the medial side, posteromedial side. Alright? The paratenon is stitched, and basically there is a horizontal component to a Z-plasty. There is a lower medial and upper a lower medial and upper lateral component, so that the pull is always lateral. So the tendoachilles is now inserted laterally. Therefore, it is also correcting inversion. Alright, so this is the principle of Z-plasty. And the incision is given posteromedially so that it doesn't rub against the shoe edge. It doesn't rub against the shoe edge. Okay? And paratenon is stitched back so that it doesn't adhere. So this is what is the pathology in equinus, and this is how you correct it. Then the third thing that happens is varus. One component of varus is internal tibial torsion. That means the tibia is internally rotated in relation to its upper end. So if this internal tibial torsion is more than 30 degrees, then you have to correct it by a derotation osteotomy. Okay. The second important component is inversion. So for inversion, you draw this diagram. This is the tibia. Here is the end of the fibula. Here is the talus, and the calcaneum is directed inwards. That means this is the axis of the calcaneum and this is the axis of the leg. The direction is inwards. Now the structures that are contracted here is this ligament, which is the tibio-talar ligament, then the tibio-calcaneal ligament. So these two form the deltoid ligament. Then the medial part of the interosseous talocalcaneal ligament is also contracted, talocalcaneal ligament. Then you have the deep fascia of the leg coming from here and becoming what is called as flexor retinaculum. The tendons that pass through this flexor retinaculum are tibialis posterior, flexor digitorum longus. So the doctors, tibialis posterior, flexalis longus. Then you have the artery. You have the artery, and the artery is recognized by its two veni conniventis. Then you have the nerve, and lastly you have flexor hallucis longus. Okay, so these are the structures that pass through this. The doctors are not here. These are the structures that pass through this gateway into the foot, which is called as porta pedis. And here you will have the skin and the subcutaneous tissue. Alright, here you have the skin and the subcutaneous tissue, and this nerve gives posterior calcaneal branches that supply the skin of the heel. Alright, so here you have to divide the skin and subcutaneous tissue. Then you have to divide this flexor retinaculum where it is attached to the tibia, not here. Otherwise you will divide these nerves and cause anesthesia of the foot. Then you have to divide the flexor retinaculum. Then you have to resect, lengthen or transfer the TP. Lengthen the flexor hallucis longus and flexor digitorum longus. Save the artery and nerve. And when you have to save the artery, since the patient is in tourniquet, you recognize the artery by its veni conniventis. That is called as the rail track effect. That is called as the rail track effect. Then you divide the superficial part of the deltoid ligament, not the tibio-terrar one. Because if you divide this, there will be instability of the ankle. Then you divide the medial half of intraosseous talocalcaneal ligament. So this is a part of what is called as modified Brockman operation. Modified Brockman operation. Okay. Then if you think that the bone is also bent, supposing this bone is bent, you do an osteotomy of the calcaneum and you open a wedge medially. So you convert it like this. So this is called as medial open wedge calcaneal osteotomy. It goes by the name of Dwyer. So these are the operations that are done for inversion. Okay. Then we move on to forefoot adduction. So here we will make the talus. Underneath we will make the calcaneum, and this is the sustentaculum tali. Here you have the cuboid. Here you have the navicular bone. Here you have the cuneiforms, and here you have the metatarsals. The forefoot in relation to the hind foot normally forms an angle of 16 degrees. But when this angle is more, that means there is forefoot adduction. So here is the toe, and you have this muscle which arises from the medial calcaneal tuberosity somewhere here. Somewhere here this muscle arises and it goes right up to the which is called as abductor hallucis. This is called as abductor hallucis. Then you have the insertion of tibialis posterior, which you have divided and you have raised this tibialis posterior. As you raise this tibialis posterior, you can see this talonavicular capsule on the side. So you erase the abductor hallucis, you divide the tibialis posterior, and you divide this talonavicular ligament on the medial side, and then you try to correct the forefoot adduction. Okay? So this is how you correct it. The second thing you can do, that you can fuse the calcaneocuboid joint. So the bone stops growing from this side, continues to grow from this side, and the forefoot adduction is corrected. This operation, this fusion, is called as Evans calcaneocuboid fusion. Okay? Then you are looking at the foot from below. So if you look at the foot from below, here you have the sustentaculum tali, here you have the calcaneum. Okay? Here you have the cuboid. Here you have the navicular, and between the navicular and the sustentaculum tali you have the head of talus, and this head of talus is supported by a ligament which is called as the spring ligament. Here you have the cuneiform, the three cuneiforms, and of course you have the metatarsus. At this point of time, I am going to ask you to remember the 4 layers of soul. Okay? The first layer of soul arises from the medial calcaneal tuberosity here, and it consists of a flexor between 2 abductors. So the first abductor is abductor hallucis. Okay? Second is abductor digiti minimi, and you have a flexor between the two, flexor digitorum brevis, and superficial to this flexor you have what is called as the plantar aponeurosis. So when you want to correct cavus or Stindler's operation, you erase extra periosteally, not subperiosteally, because if you do it subperiosteally, there will be calcification. Extra periosteally, you erase abductor hallucis longus, flexor digitorum brevis, abductor digiti minimi, and plantar aponeurosis, and this operation goes by the name of Stindler's. This goes by the name of Stindler's. Okay, so the first layer consists of 3 muscles, and basically it is the flexor between abductors. Okay, the second layer consists of 2 tendons and 2 muscles. The 2 tendons are flexor hallucis longus, flexor digitorum. The second is flexor digitorum. Okay, the flexor hallucis longus and flexor digitorum cross each other. नीचे से फ्लेक्सर हेलिसिस आया, ऊपर फ्लेक्सर डिजिटोरम है पोर्टापिटस में, They cross each other. Flexor hallucis going medially, flexor digitorum going laterally. And where they cross is called as the knot of Henry. It's called as knot of Henry. Knot of Henry. And one muscle arises from the tendon of digitorum, that is the lumbrical, and one is inserted into it, that is flexor digitorum accessorius. Alright? So flexor digitorum accessorius is inserted into it and lumbricals originate from. So you have said two tendons and two muscles. Right? The third layer consists of again three muscles. But this time there is an adductor hallucis between flexor hallucis brevis and flexor digiti minimi brevis. So there is a flexor digiti minimi brevis going there, here, and flexor hallucis going here, and there is an adductor hallucis which is in between. So there is an adductor between two flexors. Here there is a flexor between two abductors, but here there is an adductor between two flexors. And then you have the fourth layer, again two tendons, two muscles. The two tendons are tibialis posterior here and peroneus longus attached to the medial cuneiform. TP and PL. TP, PL, peroneus longus. And the two muscles are palmar and dorsal interossei. Palmar are adductors, dorsal are abductors, pad dab muscles. Palmar are adductors, dorsal are abductors. So now you will have to remember 4 layers of sole. Okay? And don't have to forget it. And you have to remember the Steinler's operation, which is done for cavus. Okay? Finally, we must understand the operation of triple arthrosis, which is done in adults. So, supposing this is the talus and you have completely plantar flexed it. You have completely plantar flexed this talus as much as it would go. Okay? And this is the calcaneum. And here is the navicular, and here is the cuneiform, and here are the metatarsals. So he is walking on toes. Now you will fuse the subtaloid joint. So if this is the axis of the leg and you cut the lower end of talus at 95 degrees to it. Okay, 5 degrees you allow for the heel. So this much of talus is gone. And this is the plane of the sole. You cut the upper end of calcaneum parallel to the sole. So when you close this wedge, with talus completely plantar flexed, your foot will become at 95 degrees to the leg. You understand? Alright? This is the principle of Lambrinudis triple arthrodism. Deformity is at the ankle. Correction is at the subtaloid joint. Follow? And you cut a trough like this. You cut a trough like this in the V in the navicular. And this is the beak of the talus. So you put the navicular here. Like this. So you cut a trough in the navicular and you put the beak of the talus in the trough so that this joint doesn't undergo no fusion. Okay? So this is talonavicular fusion, this is talocalcaneal fusion, and of course, if you want to correct the inversion, and forefoot adduction. So if you want to correct the inversion, you want to correct this inversion. Okay? So if this is the sole of the foot, you cut the surface like this, and if this is the leg, you cut this perpendicular to the leg, and when you close, inversion will correct. Okay? So lower surface of talus perpendicular to the leg, nearly perpendicular to the leg, and upper surface of calcaneum parallel to the sole. You follow? Now, supposing I want to correct this. So what I'll do, navicular and lower surface of and posterior surface of cuboid perpendicular to the forefoot, and anterior surface of calcaneum perpendicular to the hindfoot. So when I close this wedge, forefoot adduction will correct. So these are the principles that go to remove wedges in triple arthrodesis to correct the deformity of Talipes equinovarus. Okay? So this is the pathoanatomy of congenital Talipes equinovarus and the basis of operations that are done on it. Okay? I think we'll finish at this. Okay?